Episode 4, Into the Fuzzy Unknown. Stepping up to the line separating this universe from the next, Jeffries heard his men tense behind him and the silence of men not daring even to breathe. Taking a deep breath himself and slipping on the glasses that blinded him here, he stepped through the gate on the right-hand side. The oven-like heat slapped him in the face, and his milk-white glasses became see-through, though barely. He could see the sand and his feet, but by 4 meters out, things blurred together. This wasn't good. He raised his right fist to beside his ear, giving his men the sign to hold while he evaluated more. Lifting his glasses, everything became just a blur, so he let them fall back into place, and strained his ears. That told him very little. He'd landed on over 100 planets in 3 universes, some with atmospheres so thick you had to take hours getting used to them, but none sounded anything like this. Testing, 1, 2, 3, he intoned. That didn't sound like his voice. His attention snapped to a faint sound off to his right center, and his eyes narrowed, trying to make out things in the blur. Was that a response to what he'd said? How far away was it? Instinct said he didn't belong here. Sight was wrong. Sound was wrong. It was too hot. The smell was right, though. It smelled just like the other 3 deserts he'd been in. Of all the possible places to begin, experience told him a desert was likely best, with far fewer possible threats than forest, swamp, plain or coastline. But that didn't mean he liked it. He wanted desperately to abort. But mankind was coming to this universe. Even if he aborted, the scientist and others would still cross that gate. The Fraternal Order of the Legion, the closest thing man still had to a military, was vowed to protect man wherever he went. Belong here, or not, the Legion was staying, and he was Legion. He pointed at the ground 3 times, which told his sergeants to shorten their perimeter from 50 meters to 30, then pointed ahead, and the Legionnaires charged out the gate, each sergeant taking his 8-man squad to their assigned positions. Dr. Green crossed the gate, yelling at the top of her lungs. "Damn you, Jeffries, move, you're standing on the only plant we have seen." Jeffries took 3 steps forward, keeping his back to the gate and attention on his deploying men. That was loud, louder than it should be, in fact. The men made far more noise here than in their home universe, and he could hear every step every man made. Dr. Green yelled again, "Damn it, Jeffries. It's too loud. We can't hear what noise the wildlife makes here for all your men." "Freeze," he bellowed, his command voice cutting through everything, and each man froze in place. The silence that followed put a shiver down his back despite the heat. It was wrong, all wrong. Jeffries counted to 5 twice by holding up fingers to Dr. Green, then said, "Resume." "Dr. Green, my men have things to accomplish, including each squad keeping in contact with the one next to it. I will issue a freeze command from time to time so you may listen, but that is the best I can do for now." "Unacceptable. You need to send at least half of these men back through the gate, right now." Jeffries wanted to toss her back across the gate. "Instead," he said, "why don't you go back through the gate and make that request to your dean? For now, we have work to get done." "Fascinating," Dr. Titus said, interrupting Dr. Green's angry retort. "What?" she said, turning to the man who knelt where Jeffries had stood. "The rate of rot," the man said, looking up at them. "The plant was undoubtedly alive when the lieutenant here stepped on it. But it is rotting even faster than the organics from our universe did when pushed across during our test. Already the leaves are little more than smears on the sand. Then you better let me take over, and you and Dr. Green start looking for another plant," Dr. Lee said, just at the edge of Jeffries' vision, holding up a small sapphire whisker paintbrush. "If the roots are rotting just as fast, only a very careful forensic examination will give you any hint of how extensive a root system it may have had." Using them talking to each other, Jeffries moved away and began his inspection of the rotational perimeter his sergeants had set up. They had drilled at it in the station, but things were not going well. Vision was even worse than they had all practiced, and working like this was insane. But they had a job to do.